Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this. I want you guys to see what this guy quit his job for. This guy, Andy Bryan. I mean, that's him behind her over there. And this is just obviously a screenshot. But this guy over here on Twitter said, if you're going to lose your wife, your kids, your $50 million per year job, and half your fortune, please at least make sure it's not for this. Karen from HR down the hall. This is just a sad state of affairs. He says men have cucked themselves so much that even high-powered men let this gynocentric society pressure them to resign from a company they are CEO of. Myron was a federal agent. I don't think he understands the intricacies of board of directors and the investors and how they can vote and push you out.
Yeah, they said either step down or we're going to remove you. That's clearly what happened. Like, we're going to let you leave with some dignity. Like,
it might have been
saying you
something
stepped down
completely out
and
of
you
his control.
resigned. Yeah, say, hey, you can either leave willingly or we're going to fire you. Like, what's your choice? And most people are going to leave and say, oh, it was my choice. I'm at least going to keep that bit of dignity.
Yeah.
Versus this guy got fired.
Anyway, Myron's just saying, I worked my ass off to get this far, basically, get out of my face, F off, my wife and children are happy. The rest is none of your effing business. I mean, it's one possible vector. It's one.
But that wouldn't happen now because it's over. Like, she's been embarrassed on a global scale, right? I mean, it's over at that point.
Not only did his marriage collapse, but he also lost his job. And I don't know if he resigned or if he was pushed out, but if it were me and I was in that situation, sure, you'd have to deal with the fallout of it, but I wouldn't quit my job over it. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, if I was the one that started the business, if I was the one that cooked up the idea, if I was the one that got the big flywheel turning so that other people could hop on it and we could build some investment funding. I think they were saying something around second or third round of funding a few weeks prior to this, which amounted into millions of dollars. I sure as hell wouldn't quit my job over it or resign like a little bitch. Like, you have a job to do. So what? Get the fuck over it. I'm busy. You go do that. You do that. I've told you to do this. Let's get moving. Simple.
Well, it's the irony of the pearl clutching here. I mean, there's stories that are going around where this woman is also married. This woman, they're both married, but he's the only one that's catching flack or catching heat. This idea that your personal life should have a bearing on your professional life or anything like that. Meanwhile, you have
she was
teachers
married, apparently. Astronomer HR chief Kristen Cabot appears to be married to CEO of Privateer Rum, and they bought a house with him just 5 months prior, according to records. So this is her husband.
So there you go. He's being railroaded while she's looking to be getting off scot-free. I mean, no one's coming after her. This idea, though, that we have this clutching of the pearls, like, oh my God, well, if you're not a good person, you're not allowed to be in this business or the PR or whatever it might be. Versus you have teachers.
Everybody knew that they were fucking. It's not like they didn't know.
Yeah, and that's probably a fair point. But on the other hand, you have these teachers that are blue hairs and wearing septum piercings and are teaching trans ideology in classrooms and are trying to indoctrinate kids, but nobody has anything to say about that. Nobody says, oh, well, what you do in your spare time and what you do in your personal relationships has no bearing whatsoever on what you do when it comes to your job. But that's only okay when it's like generals putting on, dog masks and wearing leashes while they get fucked. But that's not okay for a dude to be going out there and, having his arms around some chick at a concert. It's just all hypocritical and it's all nonsensical.
Yeah, it's
where we live in.
Part of it that got under my skin. So I made a post about this on social media. So here's some of the, I guess, social media posts that I saw that went viral that had a lot of engagement. So apparently this isn't his wife.
Yeah.
I don't know whose wife this is exactly, but whatever. Who cares? It's just a photograph of a wife and a bunch of kids, all happy and shit, with him off to the side with a side piece. This guy says he gave all of this up for what exactly? And we can go on to the next one. Cleopatra says, what an idiot. Side chick wife, the cheating CEO's wife facepalm. And by the way, again, that's purportedly not
her.
Wife. I think if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere that's Kevin Costner's wife. Could be wrong.
Well, checks out.
Again, another one of this photograph, astronomer CEO Andy Byron's wife is going to be so rich. So everything's like, it's all about, and this isn't her again, but we're just using this as a placeholder. He's such a bad guy. He gave it all up for what exactly? The beautiful wife and the three beautiful children, all happy, dressed there nicely. He gave it all up for what? Side chick was old bag, wife was hot. That's kind of like the narrative that's going on. So I got something to say about that. So I posted this over on Twitter X and I said, all these people shitting on CEO Andy Byron and encouraging his wife to divorce rape him are absolute hypocrites. And I'll say it again. Women would rather be the king's mistress than the peasant's wife. Until women choose fat, insignificant, broke losers living in their mom's basement over rich, successful, and taken men, then you can sit down and shut the fuck up. Going on about how loyal you are and how you are so much more moral than him, just cry harder. Most men that claim to be loyal aren't, because they have no options. You cannot claim to be loyal if you do not have options. These are the same men that pay OnlyFans hoes a monthly subscription or beat off to porn when their wife goes to sleep. I know who you guys are. You're an absolute pathetic clown. Most women that claim to be loyal also aren't. There are no agreeable virgins getting married anymore. It's almost always run through hoes. How can you call yourself loyal if you've been piped by 50 other guys prior to saying, I do? It means nothing. The end state of women's hypergamy is polygyny, not monogamy. This is something that not a lot of people talk about, which is true. I'll debate anybody on it. I don't care. Y'all know it's true. It's always been that way, and until women again choose faithful peasants over taken kings, it's always going to be that way. The married HR hoe knew he was married and went for the ride anyway. Why aren't people shitting on her? It's always men's faults, right? Mind your own affairs, short out your own life before you talk about your made-up moral high ground and criticize human nature. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the Courses tab. Newer to the channel? Hit subscribe.